I think the plan is he's going to show us this stone, which is part of a old stone circle. It's the main one where apparently satanic rituals happen on a regular basis. So this is a place here then where you think these rituals, or you know these rituals.
These rituals definitely go on at this place up here.
Is this?
It's called the Long Stone. In fact, there's two stones. One's on its side and one's standing up, and it's a beautiful walk this direction.
Let's go. After you.
Cheers, mate. It opens out eventually, and you get a fantastic view. It's interesting when you look at the traits. This is mainstream science. When you look at the traits of what we call the reptilian brain, reptilian genetics, which we all have, one of the traits is an obsession with ritual. So when you look at all the pomp and ceremony of the royal family, you know, with Buckingham Palace and all this stuff, and all the ceremonies and the guards and the horses and the colours, you're looking at ritual.
But you say that the people that actually live on the island are part of this. There are people, there's a network on the island that are...
Big time. I mean, the Isle of Wight's a beautiful place, and if you pick up the higher levels, the vibrational levels of it, it's a very pleasant place to be. But my goodness me, there is a network of Freemasons, Satanists and paedophiles that run this island.
And this is
they run its
police,
government,
the government, everything. So we're almost here at the top.
Oh,
see
nearly.
There it is. The Long Stone.
There we go. It's funny, you know, you come on a day like this. It's a nice day, and there's families around, and you see these stones. You could see these on May the 1st, Halloween, that kind of, in these ritual periods of the year.
And you'd be a totally different story.
You would see something very different.
So
Yeah.
this is the center point of this energy then,
Yeah.
that they're trying to tap into.
What they would do, among many other things, you'd have them in their robes and hoods all around here, and you probably have, you would have the sacrifice on the slab
This is
here.
the altar.
This is their altar, yeah. And what they're doing, it's horrible, but let's get the truth out. What they're doing is manipulating the sacrifice. The sacrifice knows the sacrifice is coming, and who's going to help them? Look,
Right.
at midnight or something. No one. And what they then do is they sacrifice the victim, and they drink the blood immediately, which has this chemical substance in it, and they go crazy. I mean, you know, I've talked to people who've been at these rituals, and how once the sacrifice happens and the blood runs, these people go crazy with blood. There was a man called Stanley Kubrick, the great filmmaker.
I think I've heard of him.
Stanley Kubrick was an insider, and he wanted to expose it. And his last movie was called Eyes Wide Shut.
I've seen it.
Now, Eyes Wide Shut, he died very, very soon after it was presented to executives at the film company, and was given no fanfare whatsoever when it came out. It just disappeared.
The hell out of it as well.
Yes, they did. They took 25 minutes out of it, which he refused to do. Now, he filmed a ritual with Tom Cruise in it, in which I only know more recently was a Rothschild mansion. And what he filmed is a mild version of what goes on, because he knew. And you had the colours. You have most people in the ritual in Eyes Wide Shut were in black. The main guy was in red. Here we go again.
Yeah.
You had the orgies going on, and you had the people being killed, the lady being killed. But that was such a mild version. I don't know what was in the 25 minutes they took out, mind, because the real version is that there's blood every bloody way. We see a hierarchy in the public arena of president, secretaries of state, of prime ministers, secretaries of state, down.
Yeah.
That's the public hierarchy. The real hierarchy in the shadows is the occult hierarchy. And if you're higher in the occult hierarchy, the satanic hierarchy, which is incredible hierarchical, it's all hierarchical, then you have more power over someone higher than you in the public hierarchy.
You know, people familiar with your work would know that you've made some predictions over the years, and they've come to pass. I mean, I think this may be part of the reason why people have really started to pick up on your work. Something like the internet, what do you see happening? I mean, because at the moment, this is how people are getting information spread to each other. It seems, at least at the moment, to be relatively free in most countries. What do you see happening there?
The big thing that they're going to say is, because of the danger of terrorism and terrorists communicating on the internet, these things have to be stopped. I mean, what did Cameron say after the London riots? We may have to talk about censoring Twitter and Facebook. And Bill Clinton, and when Bill Clinton, like Tony Blair or George Bush or anybody, when they open their mouths, it's the Rothschild speaking. And just a few months ago, Bill Clinton came out and said we need basically a censor organization, a ministry of truth, to police the internet and to stop people. He specifically talked about people who are spreading rumors on the internet and are not true. They are true, Bill, okay. They're in my books, there's old documentaries about it. They're true. Go away. Drink your milk.
Do people just turn up at your door, though? I'm sure you have fans that
well, they
find
do.
out where...
Yeah, I hope they're not fans. I hope they're not followers or they're not listening. But yeah, I have people come quite a lot, yeah, from time to time. I'm a very private person, you see. It's one of the strange things about my life, really. I guess you call it a paradox, but I don't suppose it is, really. And that's that almost everything I've done in my life has been a public profession. I was a footballer. Then I became a journalist and a television presenter. Then I was a national spokesman for the Green Party. Then I did this, of course. And yet I'm an incredibly private person. And you know, I talk to thousands at an event, and I love it. I just love being there. It's like being in another reality. There's a massive interaction going on energetically between the audience and me. You feel what humanity is behind the programming and behind the false sense of limitation and I can't and little me. You feel the true magnitude of what we are coming off the audience.
What we need is not compliance, we need a non-comply dance. Where we beat to a different drum and we dance to a different drum. Where we refuse to acquiesce to this control system that seeks to enslave us even more than it already has. Non-comply dance. Do this, comply. No. No. Enough. It's time to fly. It's time to fly. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's funny, Kev, you've brought me here, and it's kind of a real strange, kind of spooky, kind of surreal feeling, because I used to stand here. I was a little boy. I could just about see over the top of this bloody fence. Same fence, I think it is anyway, repainted. And I used to watch the steam trains come up. And I wanted to be a footballer, and I wanted I love steam trains and all the rest of it. And nearly 60 years later, I'm standing in the same spot, and I've been talking to you about a moon bloody matrix, shape-shifting reptilians, a few families run the bloody world. I mean, whatever happened to you? Just keep watching the steam trains. All the trouble you've got me into. And it's just a strange where life goes. You never know where it goes, so all you can do is enjoy the moment. And I love this moment when I was watching them steam trains. I was in my heaven. And standing here, I'm in another kind of heaven, because given what happened 20 years ago and many years after that, I was ridiculed in the street, called a nutter, and I couldn't fill a phone box. And now suddenly it's so different. It just shows that if you keep walking and believing what you're doing, then something comes out the other end, and it's just beginning to.
Well, you've reached the end of the video. If you are interested in learning more about similar topics, here you will find other really interesting videos from the channel. Thanks for watching this video. Click on the like button if you enjoyed it, and do not forget to subscribe in case you didn't. See you on the next one.